Come one, come all. This is the terrifying moment you've all been waiting for. Allow me to introduce the one and only artist of the creepy and frightening, Lady Heather. But first, can you please give us a shout out to let us know that you can hear me? Please make a comment. Thank you. Glad everyone can hear. And now, for the one person we've all been waiting for, Lady Heather.
Thank you, Barker Grimshaw. It is I, Lady Heather. I have arrived to celebrate my annual Lady Heather-o-ween. This is the 2020 event, and it's going to last for 8 weeks. Let me put on my glasses here so I can see. Oh, look, this is Maggot, my raven. He's traveled a long way with me from the dark shadows. As you all know, this is my favorite time of year. So be prepared for during these 8 weeks. We are going to have some frightful fun, color-alongs, and awesome giveaways. Now, I'm going to be kicking off my event today showcasing my Midnight Carnival series. I will be coloring my Scarecrow boy hoop swing image. If you want to color along with me today and learn how to do something like this, you can pick up my Scarecrow boy hoop swing at my shop, colorofloveshop.com, and just go to all digital stamps and go ahead and purchase it now and come back and join me. Now, I have a surprise for you this time. This whole entire coloring is going to be done with Black Widow pencils. And as I said, we're going to be having giveaways. So our first giveaway for this week, thanks to Albert from Black Widow Pencils, is going to be a set of your choice of one of the 6 Black Widow pencil sets. We have the new one, which is the Monarch pencil set, 48 pencils that just arrived. You're going to love them. A lot of light colors, which Lady Heather kind of prefers the darker side of things. We also have the skin tone set, the light set, and of course, the darker set. Then there's my all-time favorites, the Black Widow, the Spider set, Cobra, and the Scorpion. These are amazing pencils, reasonably priced. You can't go wrong with them. I put them up there with at least Prismacolor and Caran d'Ache. They last a long time. The colors are amazing. Plus the names, like in the Spider set and Cobra set, are out of this world. I mean, how can you go wrong coloring with like Stink Bug, Tarantula, Fungus, you know, all those kind of good names. And in the new one, there's even, what is it, Carnival Barker? Slime? Green slime?
Slime, my
Poison
favorite color.
too. I know, right? So anyway, I want to give a shout out to Albert from Black Widow Pencils for graciously giving us a set to give away. Now, in order to qualify and enter this giveaway, I'm going to turn it over to Carnival Barker, who is going to give you the rules.
These are the rules. Lady Heather will be selecting one of her viewers to receive a set of Black Widow pencils of your choice, which will be shipped to the winner directly from Albert at Black Widow Pencils. Your address and personal contact information will be kept private and not shared anywhere. In order to qualify for this drawing, you must be over 16 years of age, subscribe to Heather Valentine's YouTube channel, and name yourself in the comments of this live stream. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You must enter between August 30th and September 3rd in order to qualify for the drawing. Lady Heather will publicly announce the winner at her live stream event next week, September 5th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and will contact you privately for your mailing address. The giveaway is in no way associated or sponsored by YouTube. To participate, you agree to release YouTube from any and all liability related to this contest. Any personal data collected will only be used in the following way: the address of a person collected to ship the pencils. This address will be forwarded to Albert at Black Widow Pencils so he can ship the pencils directly. You will be getting the pencils not from Lady Heather, but from Black Widow. To enter, follow all steps as listed in the rules, then leave a comment on this video using the hashtag Black Widow Pencils. All run together. Introduce yourself and tell me who you are. Tell me what you're all about. Tell me from where in the world you are, what you like to color or draw. Lady Heather wants to know.
Of course I do.
Lady Heather will pick a winner based upon the comments on September 3rd, 2020. If the person does not respond within 3 days, a new winner will be selected. So make sure that you keep your lines of communication open. The winner will be announced live on the next live stream event, September 5th at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you, Carnival Barker. Now, we're going to take a small, eensy-weensy little break. Going to flip that camera around so you can see how I'm going to color this image. And don't worry, if you want to color along and don't have the Black Widow pencil sets yet, you can color along with any of your colored pencils. But I do highly recommend getting the sets of Black Widow pencils. You can't go wrong. Be right back. Hi everyone, once again welcome. It is I, Lady Heather. This is Scarecrow Boys Hoop Swing. Like I told you earlier in the introduction, you can obtain this image from my Color of Love shop online. This was the finished image, and this is what we're going to recreate today. Like I said, once again, this was all done with colored pencils. Now we're going to start off this coloring a little different. We're going to turn this image into grayscale first and then color. It's going to give this nice eerie, which of course I love, I'm Lady Heather, effect. Okay, I want to keep some parts of this kind of grainy, as you can see in the bricks and in the shadows down here below. Reason for that is eerie. This is the Midnight Carnival. This is one of my most beloved characters from this set, little Scarecrow boy, and he's kind of creepy. You don't know if he's like a stagehand or I know he's part of the carnival, but maybe he's trying to create his own circus act, and that's why he's in the spotlight. So let's begin. I want to make sure that you have your pencil sharpener, a scratch piece of paper so we can test out what colors of pencils we're using. I also will be blending some of this image with Gamsol, and so you want to have some paper towels and a brush, and I will be using a round flat brush. This is about 1/4 of an inch in diameter, the bristles. So then I have my Black Widow pencil, so let's get started. This is a great tutorial for those who want to learn about light source. And one more thing, on the image that you have in front of you, I did not draw in the side lines here. I sketched this down here with a ruler, just like this, and I connected the dots. You'll want to do this because you want to go ahead and create this spotlight effect, and I didn't want to draw it in on black with my marker for the original piece. So I advise you to take a ruler and just go down here and stop where you see the base molding to the back of the wall. Also, you want to take a pencil and you want to sketch in your spotlight. Like once again, on the original image, I didn't want to outline it in black and that, because you're not going to have a black outline for your spotlight. So it's best if you just kind of sketch in real lightly with a number 4, even a number 2 pencil will work if you don't have like a 4B or a 6H. Just lightly make an oval here, and that's going to be where the spotlight is. Your light source is going ahead, and let me rotate the camera up here for you, is going to be coming from up above. I'm going to move this down a little bit. Yeah, it's our first live stream, so there's going to be camera difficulties here, so please bear with us. The light source is going to be coming down here, as you can see in the original coloring I've done. And then as it comes down, it's kind of going to have this kind of circlish effect down here, because it's going to fade off, okay, and trail off. So your brightest spot on this image is going to be right here. So everything that falls on that spotlight, the top of the hoop, his hair, some of his face, his arms, since he's grasping the hoop, and of course his legs and his shoes, is going to be brighter. The curtains are in fact in front of, see if I can pan out here, in front of the stage. So they're going to have their own reflection, because you kind of have like floodlights out here or spotlights looking on. So remember, your main light source is here shining down on him, then the curtains are going to go ahead and have their own light. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to be using from the Spider set. This is so appropriately named Black Widow. And I'm going to go ahead and just start doing my grayscale. And it's just basically shading. All I'm going to be doing is shading. Kind of a light touch, nothing super perfect. This is just kind of roughing in the shadows. You're going to have your curtain, and so you want to go ahead and follow it along. And let me backtrack here on the curtain. The curtain hangs like this. It's going to have, get my original sketch. It's going to have these gathers, if you will. So the high part of the gather, the peak, is going to be lighter. As it goes into the valley and comes up to the next peak, this is going to be darker, okay? And the reason why my little corners aren't done, I had my tape holding the paper in place, so don't think I missed a spot. Anyway, your creases to your curtain are darker. You're going to rise up to your valley or to your peaks, lighter, and back down, and that's what we're going to create. Now, I'm not using the normal circular patterns for this. I'm going to go ahead and create the texture of the curtain and get those valleys and peaks already in. The lighter you push on the pencil, the lighter pressure, the lighter your pencil is going to be. And if you have any questions along the way, please talk to us in chat. Barker Grimshaw is here to answer, well, to read me your questions. Don't be shy. I'm here for you to ask and to learn. Plus, I love chatting with you all. Give us a shout out. Let us know who's here. Remember, this is a valley. So I'm going to come out and I'm going to shade this. Now, this really doesn't take long to turn your image into a grayscale. Remember, the darker you are, the closer to those curtains, to where it gathers, of course, you're going to add darker pressure. Carnival Barker, do we have any, or Carnival Barker, there we go, Carnival Barker Grimshaw, do we have any questions or anything?
So far, we have no questions.
Everyone is being quiet.
Everyone's being quiet. You could say hello to Glenda Pooley.
Hi, Glenda. Thanks for joining us. Remember, the darker into those valleys, that's where your folds are going to be, the darker it's going to be. Now, you can use this effect or technique with any coloring, but you'll be amazed at how easy the colors are going to go on over this. Let's talk about Black Widow pencils for a minute. I adore these pencils. I use them so many times in my artwork. Number one, I love, like I said, the packaging is what drew me into them. They were different. Not that I like spiders or anything like that. I despise those little things. Or snakes, scorpions, I'll run the other way, okay? Yes, even though I am Lady Heather, I don't like creepy crawly things, and I'm sure there's tons of you that feel the same way with me. Now, if they're vultures or ravens, oh, those are my cup of tea. But anyway, the spider set is what drew me in, and it's a set of 24. I think here in the United States they're like $14 or $16 a set. Received the first set. Beautiful, beautiful tins, okay? Very sturdy. I just really, really, really adore them. I'm going to add another pleat here.
And Marianne Larson is on. She says, I'm here too, but very concentrated on your work.
Hi, Marianne. The Black Widow pencils, like I said, they're like 16, I think, 14 or $16. I know the two sets of skin colors, the light and dark set, they're 12 each. Oh, they got some of my favorite pencils in there. Midnight is to die for. One of my all-time favorites. That's a really super dark blue. You can't go wrong with that. Anyway, when I got the pencils, the packaging is amazing, sturdy, And the pencils, perfectly sharpened. Gonna add a little shading here. The pencils are so durable. Perfectly centered cores. They color, you can sharpen them. Hardly any breakage or anything like that. And that is so important. I know there's other brands out there that you hear all about, and I've experienced so much breakage, and these are a real godsend. I do recommend you trying them out if you don't have a set. The Black Widow pencils, the Spider Cobra, and the I drew a blank. The Scorpion set all have the color swatches on the inside of the lid, and they match. And they're all black pencils. No color coding on the first 3 sets, and beautifully marked. I even love, everything about it is like black. This is right up Lady Heather's alley, okay? Like I said, I can't say enough about these pencils. I'm paying attention here to my shading. You want to make sure, on a different note here, that you do get those valleys in there as dark as needed, so when we lay down the other color, we don't have a lot of work to do. This is basically doing our work. Anyway, another thing about these 3 sets that first came out from Black Widow, the names. How cool is it to color with like toadstool and egg yolk and all this? They're amazing. And then there was an announcement that there was going to be a set of 48 colors. A lot of beautiful light colors in this set. And it complements all the other sets very nicely, considering most of the other sets are so bright and vivid. The name kind of took me by surprise. Monarch. I was hoping for something. I was keeping my fingers crossed and praying that there was going to be some dark name. Packaging a little different, but the same quality of pencil. There is a couple names in there that, like Poison and that fit. It's Lady Heather. We have to have our kind of dark vibe going on there. And yeah, they're awesome too. So our giveaway, like I said, this time is coming from Albert from Black Widow. And once again, I can't thank him enough for donating and giving away this set of your choice. You can't go wrong with any set. So make sure you do enter. And I'm sure Carnival Barker will post the rules in the description when this video goes into replay. Okay. Now, if you don't have the shading perfectly, you're always going to be allowed to come back. We're just trying to get this nice and grayscale. I'm going to go ahead and work up here. Remember, our shadow or our spotlight is shining down, so the areas here are going to be darker. So we want to go ahead and darken up where it gathers. Remember, if you have any questions, I'm here for you to ask. And if you like these color alongs, okay, which I'll be doing, for the next 8 weeks on various social media platforms. I think we'll be here basically on YouTube a lot of the time. May go on Twitch and so forth. We'll let you know in advance. Don't forget about my Patreon page, and I'm sure the Carnival Barker will go ahead and post the information and the link to my Patreon in the description below. It's real easy, www.patreon.com/HeatherValentine. I have 3 tiers so far. I do believe I'll be adding another one here real soon. You can get tons of real-time tutorials, nice slow-down version, tons of exclusive images, especially in addition, over the next 8 weeks for the normal rewards, there's going to be a lot of exclusive giveaways, or not giveaways. Well, it is kind of a giveaway, right? We'll be giving exclusive Midnight Carnival and Halloween images away to various tiers on my Patreon.
Lady Heather, Carl O'Neill would like to know, what type of paper are you using?
Hi Carl, thanks for joining. I am using Canton's 98 pound mixed media paper. This has a little more tooth, and that is why I selected it, to get that kind of graininess. Otherwise I'd be using like Bristol or the hot press watercolor paper, so it would come out really smooth. This is normally the paper that I draw on, so I'm kind of partial to this. But it holds up nicely when you're doing, like light washes, maybe with like Neocolors or Derwent Inktense pencils. Especially with Copics and that, it works out nice. Now we're just going ahead and laying, I know this may seem, well, why are we turning this grayscale? Why didn't we have this image grayscale to be printed out? Nope, there's a reason for this. It's not going to give you the same effect if I were to, sketch it in and then have you download it. Always want to make sure when your pencil starts getting low, sharpen it. Gonna have to sharpen my pencil. Sorry about that. Now, the light's coming down, so I want to go ahead and I want to lay in the shadows of the ribbons, or we'll just say the bones to the hoop swing. You want to keep the tops of them light, because that's where that light is hitting off of. This is what's going to give you this nice 3D effect. If you capture the highlights and the shadows to any coloring you do, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. To any coloring you do, your coloring will stand out and really, as everyone says, pop. Yes, Carnival Barker, or
Carl.
Barker Carnival.
Carl would like to know, is there anything you need to do to keep the pencils from smearing?
The Black Widow pencils don't smear, but that is a good question, because I should have my scratch sheet of paper on the area that I color, so I don't have, in case there is, your hands do have heat. You don't want to have the, since we are using wax pencils, the heat in your hand, and then all of a sudden you look at your hand, you got kind of black stuff going on, or whatever kind of color pigment going on. So yes, you should have a scratch sheet of paper there to keep that from happening. I'm really bad at that. I just kind of figured my gloves would cover it, So thank you for asking that. That is important. Okay, and you can see I'm going ahead, and this is kind of fun, just laying it in. You're going to see the effect here. Remember, the light's coming down, so now I'm going to kind of flip this and make sure that these, we'll call them bones. They sound so much better, don't you agree? Instead of ribbons. This one's kind of covered. So let's throw ahead, and there we go. Gonna go ahead and start working on his eye. Let's get some shading in underneath this button. I'm gonna strengthen up these lines here on his stitching. And I'm gonna start doing his hair. Underneath each strand, you want a shadow and down. So how many of you are coloring along with me while I'm doing this? I know I'm working kind of at a faster pace. Take your time. You will be able to watch this again as a replay.
Marianne Larson says it looks amazing already.
Thanks. Well, wait till you see it completely done in the black. I mean, I didn't want to just do a grayscale coloring. Okay, that would kind of be a little, boring. But when you see it on the grayscale, it's really a work of art in itself. So, don't ever be afraid to do grayscale colorings like this, and maybe add just a hint of color, maybe just one color. And it, you always don't have to color in your whole entire piece.
Carl says it's looking good, Heather.
Thank you. Get underneath that hair. Like I said, you can always come back and darken up. But we definitely want, since that light is shining down, there's going to be some really dark shadows going on here. I'm going to go ahead and get this underneath his face, or underneath his curls here onto his face. And you want to go ahead and fan out. Now remember, you don't have to do the light circles on this. He's got that burlap skin going on his piece, so you want to go ahead and give it some kind of texture. Get those lines. Okay. And something else to have handy is your Derwent battery operated eraser. This comes in so handy, and you'll see how I'm going to use it. Shadow, shadow, another shadow. Remember, the ruffles are kind of the same thing as a curtain. Don't be scared off because it's a ruffle. Oh, let me go back up here and finish his hair real quick. I have a tendency to skip around when I color, so. Do the one side because this light. Follow his hair. His hair is tilted over here, so that light's going to be on this side. So we're going to keep that light. Trust me, we'll be adding color to this, as you saw in the original piece that I colored. Okay, so we have a valley here, and we're going to color up. Kind of graduate that color, and that's going to be your highlight. A valley, and thanks for asking questions, guys and gals. I like to help out. And that's also another thing on my Patreon page. You get me basically, how do I say that, 24/7 as a private art instructor or coloring instructor, whichever you're doing. And it's low monthly fees. What tiers are $1.99 or $1 for the starters, $5 and $10. Okay, we have a valley. Want to make sure our shadows dark in the valley and lighter up to that peak. And this truly is a good exercise, like I said, for to learn your light source. Okay, we have in his shoe a shadow. There's his little thumb. It's going to be a shadow underneath here. Kind of heavy because of that ruffle. And a part of that in that ruffle. And a little lighter. Get his little gloves. Dark. In the valley, same kind of thing. In those valleys, you want darker and then pan out. Okay, when you get to the sleeves, it's going to be lighter here and lighter here. So you're going to go ahead and dark on the outside of the sleeves. Lighter underneath that ruffle. Pardon me, darker underneath that ruffle. Kind of fade out.
Heather, Carl would like to know, aside from the blending that you use, can you blend color pencils with a stump, or is it better to blend with the pencils themselves?
It just depends on personal preference and kind of what you're working with. The stumps can be fun. They're a little taxing. I have MS, and it's a little taxing on my hands. You can dip your stumps in Gamasol, which kind of help out. But for people like me, or who have fibromyalgia, arthritis, and that, I would kind of recommend staying away from the stumps. Even though I even burnish with like my white or lighter colored pencils. That's another way to blend. I'm really digging the Gamasol. It's really easy, and you're going to see, and it's really a time-consuming thing. Did I answer that question right?
I think you did.
Okay, going to shade there around his lower half here where he's sitting. And kind of just bring down a little bit of shading here so we have that shading of that ruffle that was sticking out. I'm going to go ahead and darken this ruffle again here in these areas and come down here. I really want that ruffle to really pop. Like I said, you're going to go back and forth with your shading as you go along, but I mean, see how this is taking life already? And I'm not blending, I'm just using my pencil. This is really, really, I encourage you all at least to try this once, because it's really fun. You get lost in the shadows. You don't have to worry about picking colors or anything like that. Remember, it's going to be darker here, lighter here. So lighten up your pencil and see how it changes. I mean, the more pressure, the darker it is. I promise you we're going to get to the good stuff here in the coloring. This is kind of good stuff, though. This is different. A lot of people don't color like this, doing it in grayscale. They usually just purchase a grayscale piece and kind of go for it, but it's fun. And no, this is not, well, this is monochromatic right now. It's one color. It's really monochromatic. But it's fun to control your pencil. I'm going to go ahead and get these pleats in. Remember, same kind of thing. The darker area for the ruffles kind of go on up.
Heather, if we could pan down a little bit, that would probably help.
Okay, that would help, right? There we go. Like I said, we have a little couple technical difficulties we're ironing out. Thank you for letting me know. So is everyone having a good Sunday? Or maybe it is Monday. Depends on your part of the world. Okay. Come down here. Like I said, add a little texture here. And I want to go ahead and strengthen up the little X's to his sewn mouth. Oh no. All right. Gonna go ahead here and tilt the camera up a little bit. There we go. Underneath part of the bones, nothing too just kind of get those bones in here.
Carl says, thanks Heather, very informative, really enjoying this presentation.
Thanks, Carl. Means a lot to me. You see how it's coming along really, really nice and I mean, look at this. We already have him colored in. I'm going to come back here.
Carl says, thanks for asking. Yes, having a good day down south.
Yeah. Hope not too down south, not in that, by that, hurricane there in Louisiana. Send a prayer out to those who are affected by Hurricane Laura. Okay. Underneath, remember, lighter. Pay attention to your light and your dark.
Glenda Pooley says, weekend has been really good. Thank you. Still on Sunday here. She's in the UK.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're late up there. What is it? About 8 o'clock? Oh, not too late. Going to go ahead and whip in this other curtain. Same thing. Paying attention to those pleats. And in just a few minutes, we'll be starting to add color to this. And no, I'm not going to blend out any of this, the dark or anything like this. You'll see. That's when it's going to get even better and more fun. Huh. Okay, a little darker. Okay. And coming up on this. See, by doing it grayscale, you've already done the hard work. You've already laid in your shadows. And got your highlights there. So your colors, when you add it, are just going ahead and be like easy peasy. Oh, should I say it? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. There, I did my Negan impression there. For those of you who are Walking Dead fans, you gotta love Negan. Right? Oh, nothing from Carnival Barker. The Carnival Barker is quiet. He's running the sound and everything behind the scenes. Maybe the cat's got his tongue. Oh.
No, they killed my favorite character.
Who was that?
Eastman.
Oh, Eastman. Oh, with Tabitha. Well, Tabitha, the goat got it too. No, mine was Glenn. Well, yeah. And now it's Negan. Well, now I'm thinking about Alpha.
Nothing about Herschel?
Herschel was good, so was Dale. I love Dale. I cried. I cried with Beth too when she... I know I could do my... How many of you are Walking Dead fans out there? Give me a shout out. How many of you watch The Walking Dead? Should I do my impersonation of Beta? Or no, Alpha?
I don't know if they'll get it or not, but you can do it.
We're all animals here. She was really, really creepy character.
Lady Heather, you creep me out.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Some interesting Lady Heather facts. Let's see. I love watching horror movies. And the funny thing is, I watch like Halloween movies and horror movies year round. Let's see, what else? I used to watch The Walking Dead like non-stop, except for the last couple seasons, but I still watch it. I'm still a Walking Dead fan, even though they did kill Carl, and I cried. Let's see. I'm gonna add the shadow here. How many of you know of any really good scary horror movies? Can't remember what I just seen the other day. It was kind of really creepy. Let me in. Was it? No, it wasn't Let Me In. Oh, there's one on Hulu. Uncanny Annie. Oh man, that is creepy. That's a really good one.
Carl says he loves the demonstration, but is there any way you can keep the full picture on the screen? And he's not a fan of The Walking Dead.
Have you tried it?
There you go.
There we go. You gotta try it. I don't know. Uncanny Annie on Hulu is really. That was really creepy. That was creepy
Well, she
for
reminds me
me.
of young Lady Heather.
No, that's funny. Ha ha ha. Not. For those of you who have Hulu, you need to check out Uncanny Annie. I think it was one of their original series, wasn't it?
I think so. Marianne says, "Don't see any horror movies. Can't sleep if I see them." Haha.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sharpen my pencil here. There, I turned off the mic to spare you the noise. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover up here a little bit. Let's see. Let me tilt the camera up a little bit.
There you go. You're out of frame.
Okay, what I'm going to do is press really hard, and you don't have to have perfectly straight lines. I'm going to start making these bricks, and I'm making the grout right now. So kind of go with it. If it, like I said, you don't want to make them all perfectly straight. You can see I'm kind of just, if it goes under, that's fine. Bricks are not perfectly even. You know, they're kind of slapped on there with what is it, mortar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mortar. There we go. A little thick line here. This adds character to it if you don't follow it perfectly. Just in the general, I mean, you don't want to have too many holes in your bricks. Maybe add in a crack or two. Now see, we basically have this whole image colored right now in grayscale. I went way down there.
Boy, time really flies when you're having fun.
Oh, well, how long have we been at this?
An hour and 4 minutes.
Ah, I'm right on time. We should have this done in 2 hours. Knock on wood. Glass. Okay. Now remember those lines I told you about on the side to draw in with the ruler? What you're going to do, yes, and I'm going to freehand this. You want to go ahead and draw your line. I love doing this. Now just follow it down. And, am I still in? I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing with that. Yes, I know I'm not doing it with a ruler, but there's a reason to why we're doing this. This is going to be our darkest area from here to the curtain. And this is when it's going to be a little taxing on the hand here when we color in that dark area. Even though we're going to use the Gamma-Sol to blend it out, you still need a solid full coverage on the image.
Carl says he likes the beast with 5 fingers.
Ooh, I've seen that. That is creepy. Wait a minute. Let me remember fresh. Isn't that with... That's with Peter Lorre, isn't it? Yes. Peter Lorre's in that.
I think so.
Yes. Before I start getting confused there on another one. Now, Woman Black is really a good... Oh, that's me!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Woman in Black is a good vintage Victorian thriller. Yeah, with
That's
creepy
with,
dolls.
Daniel Radcliffe, right?
Yeah, Harry Potter. Good movie. Kind of weird ending, but good movie. Scared me. I saw that in a theater. One part, a raven popped out of there and unexpectedly, and I screamed in the theater, and everyone basically like turned around and looked at me. Hey, I wasn't expecting it. And then when the lady in black comes out in full force, it's like, ah! But it's all fun. I have nightmares about it afterwards, so. Don't be afraid to chime on in. I won't bite. Okay, and down here to our last. Am I still in the camera frame? Let me kind of tilt the camera down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we have this image pretty much all colored in. Get that going. Add a little bricks. You know, add character to your bricks. You know, if you want a crack, add a crack. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and darken this area here. I consider this area here the molding to the wall. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of think that this is got the cement wall going on, the cement bricks back here. Maybe this is in the older part of the carnival. So maybe it's got like fungus and mold and mildew on it. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of lay that in because I want to give this some kind of creep effect. Now I'm thinking about vintage dolls. I'm wondering if I should do the Victorian image. I have this really cool image of a doll on a music box, and her audience is all the creepy little old dolls watching her dance. Could learn how to color that in. How many would like that? I mean, I already know what's in store for next week. How many want to hear what we are coloring on next week's event?
What are we coloring on next week's event?
A voodoo priestess.
A voodoo priestess?
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. Get away from the carnival, go into the bayou. We'll return to the carnival. And we got 8 weeks of fun coloring. Every weekend there'll be a color along. It'll vary either from Saturday or Sunday. I'll be sure to post the times, or my assistant will post the times. And kind of lay in some of this. And you can see I'm not doing any of the mold or fungus or the texture to the wall in any particular order. You don't want to make it pat. Mold and fungus does not grow pat. Okay, now for the fun part. This black area, we're going to go ahead and go for it. We want to go ahead and add heavy pressure, and we're going to darken this up. This is really where your time of laying in your grayscale, where the time comes into play. For those of you who have hand issues, like I said, arthritis, fibro, MS, and so forth, this could get a little taxing on your hands. So take your time, but it's going to be so worth it. We need a good even coat. And I have found instead of doing like this, if you do the bigger strokes like this, it'll save your hand from the wear and tear. Want to add a little more pressure. You want to get as solid of a coat as possible with this. Yes, it will wear down your pencil. Be careful about going around here. And we're going to be adding color here real quick. Okay, got to stretch out my hand here, a little hand cramp. Tell you, it wears and tears on your hands. Anyway, okay, but the sooner we get it done, then it's all downhill from here.
Lady Heather, I think we're going to have to place an order with Albert for some more black pencils.
I know, right? I have literally gone through half of this pencil. I need to sharpen my pencil again. We're going to mute the sound. Okay, you don't want to have it too sharp to a razor point, just enough. And remember, when you have a razor sharp point and you are coloring, don't use a lot of pressure. You will break your tips. But I have to say, I mean, I'm really laying on the pressure. These pencils don't crumble or break. I mean, thumbs up. They're awesome. And when you have pigment dust, there is a little bit here because I was pressing so hard. Grab your mop brush and just kind of lightly dust it away. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and go over here. Be real careful not getting on the curtain. I was thinking, I was originally going to do this on gray paper, and we may save the gray paper sometime next time for this, and I transferred him onto the gray paper, and I thought, you know what, I didn't want him to be super, super dark, and I wanted the white, even though I could use like the General's charcoal white pencils for that, to make it really white. I really didn't want to do, you know, like a 4 or 5 hour tutorial live stream, so I wanted to keep it down in time for y'all. And I may do that tutorial on my Patreon. What do you think?
I think
give a
that's
little
great
highlight here, because it's really fun and it's a totally different a mindset of coloring. Because now, instead of, you know how I'm coloring in with the black and getting all the shadows down, you really want to go ahead and do all your highlights on your different paper. So don't be afraid, you know, if you're coloring and saying, man, I think it would look really cool on toned paper, do it. There's nothing wrong with, you know, I mean, you're following along coloring with me. Hey, you don't have to use the same exact things I'm using, you know. Every week we will have different giveaways. And even throughout the week. I mean, you want to follow along with me on my various, I got to take a handbrake here. Hi, working out my hand. You want to go ahead and catch me on Instagram, on my Facebook group. I'd love it for you to join me on Patreon. I mean, I think Tier 1 gets, 2 exclusive images. Tier 3 gets 3 exclusive images.
For
Tier 4,
$1 a month.
I know, $1 a month. And there's also little perks, especially with COVID and everything else going on in the world. I try to make everyone real happy. And of course, you know, your Tier 2s and Tier 3, well, Tier 1 gets all Tier 1, Tier 2 gets Tier 1 and Tier 2, and Tier 3 gets Tier 3, Tier 2, and Tier 1. How cool is that?
I'm confused.
You're confused. Yeah.
Marianne would like to know, will it change the look a lot if we make it on different color paper?
Yes, that's why I stayed away from doing it on this tutorial with the gray, because that's your base color. So you need to focus in on your whites, and I missed a brick. Focus in on your highlights first, and then your colors. So if you're going to really make if you were on the grayscale paper, you wanted his head glowing like this, then you'd want to lay down the white charcoal General's pencil. I thought I had that somewhere around here. You can also buy this in a stick, very inexpensive. But you would lay this down, kind of blend it out. You can use your finger, a Q-tip, a stump, so forth. Blend it out, and you can lay your color on top of it. So then it would really, really stick out. Another thing with the pencil is the General's charcoal. Never put it on top of the wax. Always put it down first, then your wax or oil pencils on top. I want to go ahead and tilt the camera down a little more. We have a really pretty good even coverage on here. I missed a curtain, got sidetracked here, so I want to go ahead and come down here and add a little bit to this curtain. All right, remember the curtain, the pleats are hanging down over it, so that's going to be darker. I think we're pretty much set to go. Now let's worry about the floor and the spotlight. Okay, you have his shadow. So this is when it's up to you to do a little bit of freehand drawing. Real easy. I want to get a shadow in, and I don't want it perfectly straight, perfectly round. So I'm going to go ahead and get a shadow in. Since the light's coming down, gotta get a shadow in. Or maybe you don't want a shadow in, and maybe he's a phantom. Maybe he's an illusion and he doesn't exist. That could be interesting. I thought about that too. But I really want to get my shadow in here. I mean, I know that's kind of weird, really creepy weird. So, I want to go ahead and rough in around this curtain. And I'm going to get my mop brush here real quick. And be careful if you have pets and dogs and stuff when you're dusting stuff away. Like I have an edge here on my desk. I don't know if you can all see that here, but it all falls down here, and just kind of wipe it up. You don't want your animals, cats and dogs and kids. Well, I didn't call a kid an animal, but children. You don't want them crawling around and getting this. No, they're not. You don't want them, getting into the pigment and stuff. Just be kind of safety conscious about that. Rough in your shadows here because that's spotlight. Remember, when you get close to the edge of the page, try not to go up on your paper. Your pencil will kind of catch that like that. So just kind of go around or down on it. You kind of want to smooth this out. Now look at this. We have a beautiful roughed in grayscale piece. And my pencil is going. All right. And you want to come out like this. Now you can see I have my charcoal lines here. I just want to come out a little bit. Light. Darker here and light. And you kind of want to follow your shadow or your spotlight. Everybody got quiet all of a sudden.
I think they're engrossed.
Oh, I hope. See, we've done this all in one pencil. And I'm going to have to buy another one. I can't have my pencils low. I mean, seriously, I have one of my pencils is like down to here and I'm like crying over it. And let me say something. For those of you who don't want to invest in a complete set of Black Widow pencils, Albert does have them for sale as open stock. So that's really, really a good thing. And there are a handful of pencils. I mean, if I was, not going to invest in a set, like the Midnight from the dark skin tone set, Fairy Floss, Sunburst Yellow, Tarantula, Stink Bug. Uh-oh, I made a sidetrack on the names. All those fun names. Sky is a beautiful, beautiful blue, and so is Eggplant from the new Monarch set. Okay, voila. We have this in grayscale. What I want to go ahead and do is a couple more things. I want to go ahead and fade out. We had this, and I'm going to get my lighter gray so you can see. Okay, so you have your shadows. Here's your light. I'm going to tilt up the camera. Here's your spotlight shining down. So you're going to go ahead and kind of, I know you're looking at me going, I can't draw. Yes, you can. I'm going to draw kind of like shadows. You have this up to here. You're going to graduate this black and come on in. I know it sounds more difficult. You're going to start going ahead. And I have 3 Shih Tzus. That was Ballerina, 13 years old. Anytime I do videos, she's snoring.
Marianne says we're concentrating, and Glenda says we are all busy paying attention.
Good. I'm glad. That's important to me that you're enjoying this.
And I think we'll make it to 2 hours with the battery power we have.
Huh?
El Camera.
What, we're going to run out? Well, if we run out, then I guess we'll have to pick up sometime, what, tomorrow?
Sure.
Oh, don't say that. Can we plug it in while we're charging?
We could take a brief intermission and run a cord over to it.
Well, that'll work because we're almost done with this. We're over 50% of the way done. Yes, I am laying down my pencil on the side like this. You want to be careful because, see, you are wearing down. I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring that closer up to the camera. See how it's wearing down the side? So just be careful.
Carl says, Heather, tell us about future tutorials. I want to tell my fellow artist friends.
Let's see. Of course, there's always real-time tutorials on Patreon. This month on Patreon, I am, well, Lady Heather, myself, will be coming on in doing the extra Midnight Carnival and Halloween ones. But Heather, Valentine, that lighter side, you know, she pops in every once in a while. Well, kind of more often than anything. And she'll be popping in and she'll be doing Illuminations is the theme for September. For those of you who don't know what the Illuminations are, they're beautiful and sometimes dark. I've done a couple dark illuminations, but they're beautiful ladies in gowns, all carrying lanterns or candles, illuminating the way. I do have a coloring book out, one of my older coloring books out in my store. Do you see how we're making that spotlight come down, by the way? So let me run this over here. You can go to my store, www.Color of Love. That's color, C-O-L-O-U-R, of Love Shop. And pick up the Illuminations coloring book, or grab it on, that would be if you want the instant download copy, or grab it on Amazon for the physical hardback copy. I have tons of real-time tutorials over there. For this series, I know we're going to have the Voodoo Priestess. A mummy. We will have an actual Egyptian mummy visiting us. Also, a voodoo priest is going to be joining us next week, too.
Lady Heather, if you bring in a voodoo priest, I am out of here.
Yes, I already have spoken to him, and he'll be making an appearance.
Bad juju.
Bad juju. Okay. So we have this in, and do we need to take a small break right this second in order to get this?
A 5-minute break.
A 5-minute break?
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3, probably like 2. And we'll add the color to this. Be right back.
All right, everyone, we're live again. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. Thank you for your patience. This is what I have scratch sheets of paper for. One of my new favorite colors is cream from the Monarch set. Although they have they're not all solid black. They still have the black, pencil, well-written names, very clear. They do have it dipped in color, and I have to say it does match. Both ends match to the colored end does match the pigment, so it's really nice and refreshing. Gonna go ahead and go over the black and gonna lay in some of this cream. Now see, the thing is, since you laid in that gray, or the Black Widow down, it already adds some of the shadows for you. As you can see, you definitely want to go over that black area. And I'm doing a nice fine coat here. Go back into your black area and pull up, as you do it, some of that color. Now see, you've turned that Black Widow color into a darker cream. Remember, pay attention to those shadows and to those highlights. How easy is that? I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here on his ruffle. If you missed an area that you should have had, let's see, your Black Widow, and I can't find my Black Widow pencil. There it is. That you need to darken. Just go ahead and come back in. See how easy it is to, now you were adding color like in no time. I mean, how easy is that? I'm going to go ahead and take my Sunburst Yellow. This is from the Light Skin set. And I'm just going to go ahead and on the opposite side where we laid the dark shadow, I want to go ahead and bring in, highlight the tops with yellow. Just light, just easy. Watch for pigment transference. That's why I have my scratch sheet of paper over the image. Even though I have gloves on, you just want to be careful of that. Want to go ahead and do the same. I missed a couple strands of hair. That's why I have my Black Widow in hand. Come up here. Get those roots of his yarn-like hair. Now, come on in with yellow on the opposite side. I mean, look how easy this is. I bet you're all wondering, man, she spent an hour on grayscale. I mean, there's a reason for it.
Even someone like me who can't color to save my life can color a grayscale.
I said, but it was fun to make your own grayscale, though.
Very
so you don't have to, I mean, you can go out and purchase a grayscale. You know, I didn't offer this in a grayscale, but we made it. I mean, you know, and that's what's fun about it. So if an artist you have out there like me doesn't offer a lot of grayscale, you just learn how to do it. I mean, how easy peasy is that? Yeah, I'm back into my Neganism again. Oh, man. For those of you who don't watch The Walking Dead, Negan is played by the one and only Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And he really pulls off that character. He's a really great actor. Okay. I'm going to strengthen up my... Got my sunburst again. Going to add a little bit of yellow to his face. Back into some of these ruffles. All right. I think this is Aztec Gold. Yep. Yep. Aztec Gold from the Monarch set. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit more color up into these darker areas. Don't worry about wax bloom at this present time, okay? You can go for a long time with Black Widow markers, or Black Widow pencils. There we go. I'm looking at my marker here on the desk that I drew this image with. You can go ahead and color many layers with the Black Widow pencils before you have to worry about any waxy bloom. And I talk a lot about that on my Patreon in the real-time tutorials about getting rid of the waxy bloom. And it's real easy to do that. I'm searching for a pencil here while I talk. Just to say the Grumbacher's and Prismacolor has a workable and final fixative. Just, mask off what areas you want when you have it pretty much done. Zap it with, the fixative, and it's basically restored to tooth and taken down some of that waxy bloom, so you can just go ahead and restart and recolor. So I want to go ahead and add a little bit of the darker color. I am using, I believe this is burnt orange. Pumpkin would also work too. And this is from the Scorpion set. I was looking for my pumpkin color and I couldn't find it.
And just to remind all the viewers, these are exclusively Black Widow pencils you're using.
Yes. Yes. From each of the sets. And there are 6 sets. But you can see now I've laid in this darker orange, and you see how it's turning it that vintagey, that dark, and that giving that nice creep factor. Perfect for Halloween. But you want to go ahead and color over that area. You can see, so it's not as bright. It's dirtied that color. I know a lot of artists don't want to, muddy their colors and stuff. It's okay in a piece like this. That's the desired effect I want. Come back in with that sunburst. This is watermelon. I love this color. I want to go ahead and add a little more into the shadings here. I'm going over that burnt orange. Just kind of shaking it up a little bit. Add a little more pressure to get that color going. I mean, look at this. I mean, we already have, hair pretty much done. I will come back in with the black and or the Black Widow, and gotta love the name of that pencil. And strengthen in some of these shaded areas. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen the Black Widow again, because this is when I need it really sharp. Sorry about that. Now see? Look how it makes them pop out. You have your shadows. You've already done your shading. And now we're just strengthening in those shadows. How easy is this? I mean, it really is easy. I'm kind of working at warp speed here. You don't have to work as fast as I am trying to get this done in record time for you, but this is really, really an easy, fun way. Now you have some hair that's got some, great texture going on. It's kind of gritty. That comes into effect with, due to the paper I've used, and that's okay. Come back in. The more vibrant color, and like I said, you don't have to use pink, you don't have to use the watermelon, you don't have to use, the burnt orange. If you want them to have blue hair, do it. It's learning about the technique to achieve this effect, and that's what's so important. Okay. Now I'm going to take my eggplant. I love this color. Look at that purple. I'm a purple nut. I'm going to go ahead and lay this in a little bit. Got to remember, underneath. I'm going to go ahead and work on his stripes to his shirt. Darker, and then fade up. Darker on the outside. You can go ahead and follow the color, along with the seam to, where it's sewn. That's fine. But you want that highlight so it gives him dimension. Like I said, this is where that whole thing about light source and shading and all that come into play. Look at, we have a nice shadow already, or highlight already into play. Going to do the same thing on this sleeve here. Another thing about Black Widow pencils, even though I am using, you saw me use quite a bit of pressure on the black, you don't have to. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure 99% of the time, because the color is so vibrant and strong. And these pencils are really durable. I hardly ever have any crumbs or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and rub or use the cream. Get that down here on his bottom ruffle. Going to go ahead and grab that sunburst. And going to grab a yolk, love this color, and come on up a little bit into those shadows, into those valleys and those ruffles. See how it makes the peak of the ruffle pop out. How are we doing on time, Barker?
We're at 1 hour and 43 minutes.
Okay, we're going to go over a little bit. I hope you're having fun. We're not ways off from this. If it gets too long, we'll go ahead and resume probably tomorrow, but I think we're going to be a-okay on time. I'm looking for my fairy floss. And I thought I laid out all my colors, but obviously I didn't. Don't want that. Bad Heather. Rust.
Lady Heather, how many different pencils are you using?
The whole set to finish this, I used 30 pencils.
And Glenda commented that with that just small amount of color, the little guy is jumping right off the page.
Isn't he so cute? Thank you. I'm laying this rust color down. This is from the Light Skin set. Is it? Yep. And I'm going ahead and just hitting it in the peaks. And I'm really doing it at a rapid speed. Let me go back this up so you can see. Oop. Sorry about that. Now y'all have motion sickness, right? Reminds me of what is it? Blair Witch.
They call that judder.
Oh man, that movie made me nauseous. That was not fun. And I am barely pushing on the paper. I just want a hint of color in order to make these pleats really stand out. And light. It's nothing perfect. I mean, you can see I'm just breezing through the color here. I do have my edges taped off here, but if I was going to frame it, that's to hold the piece in place. If you ever, have your coloring and you're going to frame it and you're holding it down, working on an easel or something like that, give yourself about 1/4 of an inch all around your paper. Tape it off, especially if you're doing watercolors. And then, of course, when you're done with your piece, you can use mat board and cover up that 1/4 of an inch. So you don't need to worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and... What is this? Is this my fawn? That is not the color I am looking for. Aha. There's one. In the Monarch set, they do have, this was kind of interesting. This is a dark gray. It has a warm, it's not a cool color like the other color I just laid down. This has got a warm color to it, a warm base. So it's going to be really great at laying in some of this fungus. And I'm just laying down light color, and you'll get it here. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And yes, I like coloring using my oyster, once again from there. I like coloring when I'm adding color all over the place. Reason being, I'm not overly saturating one area. Even though I did his hair like that, I wanted to show you how easy it was right off the bat. I have an assortment of grays, and that was the really good thing about the Monarch set. A wide assortment of grays. I'm going to go ahead here and throw in this shadow, appropriately named, I do say. Yep, off cam. There we go. I pardon for our technical difficulties here. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to that dark gray, which I really, really dig. And no, I'm not going to be burnishing out any of these colors right now. This is a light mocha. Adding a little color here. Kind of warming it up. This is cement on the flooring, so you want to go ahead and add some texture to that. I am going to take, wrong color. Aha. This is Forget-Me-Not blue. This would be one staple that I would buy in open market or an open box. I'm going to lay in a hint of blue here on the wall. I'm also going to come up here and lay a little bit. Just have fun with this in the coloring. And you'll see what happens when I blend all this out. Gonna get just, remember, nothing pat, just have fun with it. These are dirty bricks. again. This is shadow again. And you can see I'm not doing anything pat. I can't stress that enough. You want this to have a very uneven, uneasy coloring. Take the shadow up in here. And now look, the same color, but really, really light. It makes a difference, your pressure. Okay, let's go in here and play a little bit with the bricks. I'm going to add some texture here. This is when you kind of slow down your pace and your coloring and you start to really pay attention to things. I'm going to go ahead and darken that up. Like I said, you can see at the rapid pace how I'm laying in the color. Of course, you don't have to do it like that. I'm just trying to show you how loose the coloring is. Of course, you're going to slow down around here a little bit. But let's go ahead and remember, there's our highlight, so we want just our spotlight just a little bit on these bricks. Nothing too major, you know. Fade in around that crack. Nothing too even. Have fun with it. I know, this is going to look really rough, by the way, when you're doing this. You're sitting there looking, what is she doing? Trust me. Can you please tell me the time, Barker?
The time is 1:52.
Yay!
1 hour, 52 minutes.
Okay, we're close. So we go over a little bit. Got our camera plugged in. We're doing good. I hope all of you are enjoying it so far. The best is yet to come. Go ahead and take your light mocha and add in a little more brown to it. Give your bricks a little hint of color. Add some dirt to it. This is what we're doing. We're adding the shadows and some dirt and grime. All right, so now you're starting to see really well how this is coming along. I'm going to darken up this area here. Okay, I'm going to come in with my passion, work on the scarf here. Lighter, the spotlight shining down, lighter, lighter, lighter. Hit it light here because of those knots. It's going to be hit, or that light's going to be shining down on that. And a little bit here on that curtain. I love this green. Just lightly there. Going to go ahead and grab, let me see, did I not pull out that color? Oh, please tell me I did. Oh, maybe I didn't. Oh, I'm looking for a certain color. Hold on. I found my fairy floss. Yes, I'll have to show you someday my desk. For those of you who are on my Patreon, you see my desk. I have color pencils and paints and everything just all out in the open. It's kind of a mess. But normally I know where my stuff is. Not today. This is fairy floss. Gonna go ahead and add it up here to that eggplant. A little bit here. Yes, I colored over that white highlight. Can add a little bit of that in there. I am really, really looking for that blue. Huh. I will use Blue Heaven. Is it? Yep, Heaven. And I want to go ahead and bring in the shadow here. You add blue to that kind of yellowy green of that passion. It's going to turn it into a different green. Paying attention to those valleys. Those valleys darker. Remember, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'm going to go ahead and add sapphire. This was an interesting color. The name, you know, I always think of sapphire blue, so I was kind of caught off by surprise by this name of this pencil. Interesting though. I mean, I'm not, but don't grab it by accident and think it's got to be blue. Pay attention. This is from the Monarch set. Just like I said, as you can see, the grayscale has already provided us nice shadows. Watch the bones there. We don't want any color on the bones. Back with my Blue Heaven. Okay. I'm going to jump into with another blue. This is Sky. This is from the Monarch set. Really, really like this blue too. You can tell when I really, really fall in love with a color, I tend to really use it in a lot of my work. I'm going to go ahead and make this a pretty even, solid color. Remember, now you're working on his legs. So here's your highlights here. So you want to be really light, but coat it with a really light color. Darker around where the shadowed areas are. Your shading's already going to help you do that. And then lighter. I'm going to go back into my green here. I want to add a hint into his gloves. This is that passion. Interesting color. It does have a lot of yellow to it. Makes it a nice chartreuse green. Going to go ahead and color the missing sleeve stripes here. Get that down. I know it does look a lot like the sunburst, but there is green. And I'll make it more predominant here in just a second by playing with a different color. This is Sapphire again. Darker. on the outer part of the sleeve as you go in. You see how it's making that nice, it changes the shade, that hue of that color. Nice bright. I really at first kind of shied away, and those of you on Patreon, I'm going to be posting the original tutorial of this, and I had it really, really dark. I was really getting into the dark colors of that. There's some really good learning segments in that of what happens if you accidentally go too dark and fix the piece. I mean, but things happen, and like I said, I got really carried away. This is Forget-Me-Not blue. Got really carried away in the image, and it's I said, for those of you on Patreon, I think you'll really, after watching this, and following up with that, you'll see what I'm talking about. On something like this, being a dark image like that, you really have to be careful, because you can go really, really dark in a hurry. And see how easy that is? I mean, we did a nice, the nice grayscale underneath, and it's just like, add some color. I want the texture to his graininess of his pants. I'm going to take that passion, and I want to go ahead and zip in some of that color just to tie the other colors together. That's really important. I'm going to grab that what is it, sapphire? I should remember that, because it's an odd name for, like I said, that pencil. To me, this is more of an emerald green, but no, maybe a green apple. Ooh, it could have been something like slimy worm or something.
Mm-hmm.
Neon worm.
Caterpillar.
Ooh, caterpillar. Okay. Come back in here. I want to grab a darker blue. This is my Blue Horizon. This is another color that I couldn't live without. This is from the, did I say that? The Scorpion set?
We hit 2 hours.
It's that is my Leopold. He's 19 years old. He's okay. He woke up from a dream and couldn't find his mama. So I apologize for the little wolf in the house. I guess I know what it is. He wanted to add his own music, his own vocal cords to it. My apologies for that. He is fine. He has a little bit of, I'd say, puppy dementia and a little bit of senile. Poor little guy. He's okay. Carnival Barker has him right now, so we're going to try to keep down the howling. I was hoping that wouldn't happen. I was just thinking about how good little Leopold has been doing, and he's trying to outlive and be one of the oldest Shih Tzus, I think, which is cool with me. But he has his little moments there. That's my little wolf. So he is fine. I'll take a picture. He is alive and kicking. He just... And then I have Lilybug. Lilybug is 6. She's the shy one out of the thing. She's really a diva, my little princess. And Ballerina, a.k.a. Bella, the one who you heard snore, she's 13. I believe I told you that earlier. And she likes to snore. She's more of the tomboy. It's cool that they all have their different personalities. But yeah, that was Howling Leo. Thank you, Leo. Well, that's what happens when you have live streaming pets. What can I say? He wanted to join in.
Carl says the blue outfit is great. This scarecrow stands out even more.
Oh, thank you. So how many of you are actually sitting back there coloring with me? This is Toadstool. Yes! I found it. I used Toadstool on the curtain, so I'm going to run that really quick. I knew I had it. This is a peachy color, kind of. But it works. So, how many of you heard the lovely symphonic range of Leo out there? Nice and
He was
and
singing
clear.
the song of his people.
What people? Okay, that is a thing. Let me tell you about Shih Tzus. They are related to the wolf. Okay, believe it or not, and they were bred in China to be foot warmers, and all three of them are definitely foot warmers. That's something that's thing, but that's his. He's the only one that howls. I take that back. If he howls for a couple minutes and you can't quiet him down, then the other two, Bella is way off. She's way off key. And then you have Lily Bug, and she's just full of herself. Okay, we have Sunburst. I'm going to go ahead and look at this. When you add it to the curtain, and you hit that orange, that toadstool, and that other color, I think it was cream that we used on the curtains. Now it's like a peach. And you can see how loose I'm just coloring this in. Want to go ahead and give this a sweep. I'm going to take my Midnight. Yes, this is my baby Black Widow pencil. I have to get another set. This Midnight, check this color out. It's almost black, but it has an amazing blue base to it. Want to go ahead and use this underneath. I mean, it just covers so nice. Then when we're going to blend this out real quick with the Gamasol, where is little Leo, by the way? Is he back to sleep?
He's gone back to sleep.
Aw. Couldn't find his mama.
It's when he does it at 2 in the morning that's unnerving. Glenda says that she has the image from your Patreon, so we'll be trying to rewatch and color along.
Yes, and I will be, it will go, how long does it take to go live as a replay?
Usually 20 minutes.
Okay.
To a couple hours, depending
And like
on how
I said,
busy they are.
since you're on Patreon, you will get the tutorial, the real-time tutorial. I'll post that within about 24 to 48 hours. And you'll understand what I'm talking about that. Okay. All right, so we've strengthened up some of the shadows with the Midnight. And now I'm going for my blood red. Is that my blood red? No, that's deep red. Where is my blood red pencil? That's deep red too. Aha, from my Scorpion set. Now, time to add the curtains. Gonna go ahead and color. Add a little pressure, the same kind of way you lay down that black, or the Black Widow, I should say. Go ahead and get into it. Lighten it up as you go into that toadstool color. Now this is really going to be the only area you're going to see me burnish while I'm before I lay down the Gamisol, and I know that's kind of like overkill, but you're going to see what it's going to do. I could run it all in that, but I don't want to. And it's going to create a different kind of sheen. Well, look at this. How easy. I can't stress how easy this is to do this. And darken up in those creases, okay? You can see I'm already kind of mixing those colors. Really, really get into it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and... Where is my white Black Widow? Uh-oh. Come out, wherever you are. Did I not grab my white black pencil? Oh, I'm not going to use mine. Hold on, my drawer. I think there's a pencil stuck up here. Can you see if you can find my white?
Sure.
I will continue coloring while we look for my white. A pencil. The sets are there. And I'll show you. Okay. Need my white. So we're going to do this all with Black Widow pencils, and that we're going to do. Okay. A lot of pressure here. In those creases. I think the Black Widow pencil is snow. Don't hold me to that. We're trying to locate it here. You can see how I'm not, I mean, this is just really easy laying in the curtains.
Still looking, Lady Heather.
Okay, might have to use, I don't want to use a different color here. I don't see it. Okay. Never mind, I got it.
'Twas buried.
Okay, gonna take your white. This is Casper, go figure. I thought it was snow. This is where you're gonna burnish this out. And you can see how this all blended. Now we've taken the red, what it's done, I'm gonna try to zoom in here for you. What it's done, come on camera, is, like I said, it's turned that kind of pinky, okay, which is A-okay, because now watch what's going to happen when I come back to this. Now I gotta find my other pencil here. Yay! The pencils all just got shifted, so hang on with me. I'm going to take my burgundy and I'm going to come in and shade. When you lay the next color on top of it, look how rich this color is. Now come in with the deep red. And look at that magnificent curtain. Blend it out. Gonna get my sunburst. And now look how it makes that yellow even stand out even more. Now if you really wanted to be funky with the curtains, and let's say I want to add a nice shadow to it, take your battery operated pencil or eraser and lightly go over a line of it. Now you have an extra highlight on your curtain. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. Don't like it so crisp, come in with your Casper and kind of soften it out. Now you have really a gorgeous pleat going on in here. And so forth. My camera keeps moving down. Tech support. My camera keeps moving down.
Right on it.
Thank you, my technical assistant here. Yay. Okay, you're really, I don't know what you're doing. Here we go. Okay, can you, let's see. Hang on, people. Nope, there we don't have it. Okay, I need the camera here. Can you tighten up the camera here? Because if I let go, it's going to go down.
Hang on a minute. We're going to...
Hold on, we're going to take a little break. Like a 2-minute break. Okay, sorry about that. Like I said, this is day number 1 with this, so we'll get this mastered down for next week. Gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the curtain here. Watch the edge of that piece. Get into those valleys. Grab your Casper and blend. And like I said, I am working on that 98-pound Canson's paper. You're only going to get so smooth with this, okay? And I'll show you here shortly how you're going to take care of that. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and give my hand a break, and I'm going to show you right now. When you use the Gamasol, and I'm going to remove my gloves here, which keep my hands nice and warm. Let's see. Where is my paper? I'm going to go ahead and place some scratch sheets of paper up underneath the Gamasol, or up underneath the image. Reason being is I am working on glass. I didn't want to use it on my desk. Have a paper towel. I put the Gamasol in a baby food jar so I can seal it. Here we go. Now watch. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to pan out here a little bit. I said give my hand a break here. A little bit. Tap it off. Get off the excess. Now watch. I'm taking my time And a little bit of this goes a long way. I'm blending this out. It's going to give us a nice, pretty even coverage. This way I can allow this to dry while I work on other pieces, but you can see. Now, this has some pigment transference on it. There is no if and buts about it. You can see here in the jar when I just added this, you can see the darker paper or the pigment coming off of this. You want to go ahead and make sure that you keep your brush clean, and if you have to, change out the Gamasol, because you don't want to pick up a different color, not when you've done all this. And this is saving, like I said, this is great. Gives you a nice smooth look. It's also great for people who have hand ailments and all that. And there, my paper is kind of moving, so I'm going to hold it here. Now, I'm going to come in and play with the bricks. Watch this. And I'm kind of doing a scrubbing effect. And it's automatically blending this color, and it's giving me that mildewy, kind of funky, creepy, spooky look. Now, of course, when it dries, it's going to be a little lighter. But look how pretty that blended out. Now remember, like I said, I am working on 98-pound paper. It has tooth. This is a mixed media paper. So you're gonna see that gritty, that graininess underneath it. And this is what's gonna help give this piece texture. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and blend in all of the area on the little guy. I'm gonna go ahead real quick. My Derwent pencil eraser. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zap a little bit of this on his ruffle. Look at instant highlight. And I'm going to use my mop brush and push it off to the side. Instant highlight. You can come on in here and you can really play with this. Add a little bit of shine on his shoes, and so forth. Now, watch what happens on the bricks. So you're going to go into your black, and you're going to push it out. And as it fades away, drag it off into that brick. Do you see how I did that? I pushed that pigment out and about. I'm pushing it into that brick. Going up around here. And now I'm going to bring it down into that white area. And I'm going to cover in the whole entire brick because there's a little bit of excess pigment on this brush. So it's carried it into there. When you do the seams to the bricks, you're going to kind of play with them and bring them down. See how I carried that black? So they're not so stark. You want, those bricks, you look at a brick wall, it's not perfectly smooth. We're giving this texture by doing this. I mean, is this not the coolest? I mean, truly. Push it out. Fade it into those bricks. Look at that. Instant bricks. Now watch, there was that blue down here. Look at that blue in those bricks. We'll get back to the curtains, don't worry. Look at that. How totally awesome is this? And in no time. You know, it may take you a couple times to get like this, but it'll be fun practicing. And when you have mastered this, I mean, practice makes perfect. I mean, any kind of bricks, any kind of background like this, I mean, master, it's just not, you know, master the technique. It's not about, oh, well, Heather used this certain color and I have to do it. No, 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 no. I don't care whether you made his hair rainbow colored. If you learn the technique firsthand, you can do it in whatever media, you know, whatever, you know, brand of colored pencils you want, preferably, you know. I mean, like I said, the Black Widows work really, really well. And since, you know, this is all about Black Widow pencils, this first tutorial, you know, I wanted to stay with the Black Widow pencils, but you know, you work with what you don't limit yourself just because, well, I don't have this and this is what Lady Heather is using. No, 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 no. Dive in with what you have and have fun with it. Remember, you're going to push out the color. This is really a great spotlight. And it's really going to make him pop out. But look how easy this is. Now, something about odorless mineral spirits, Gamasol, same. Let it dry before you go ahead and add any color to it. Whether you're going to zap it with a blow dryer or what, do what you need to do. Don't add color right away until it dries, and it dries pretty quick. Now, like I said, I have the paper underneath it to protect my work surface, and it'll absorb some of this excess moisture. But basically, we have this coloring down. What are we looking at as time, Barker?
We're at 2 hours, 27 minutes.
Okay, so basically less than 3 hours, we've done this gorgeous coloring. Now, mind you, the sheet that I'm working on is 9 by 12. It's not the normal sheet, so I'm coloring a lot of area here. Okay, pay attention to the shadow. Get in here really, really good, and don't make it, you want to kind of push it out so it's kind of got a haze. Darker in the center, and as it fans out, it's going to be lighter. Do you see that? Look at that. And you have a beautiful, beautiful spotlight effect. Then you can come on in with your color. Now the floor is not so white. You know you have a spotlight. Got a nice bricks going on, nice concrete floor, got some of that blue. So what are y'all thinking? Easy, right? If you don't have the odorless mineral spirits, I've heard of people using baby oil, Vaseline. I really don't like the Vaseline because it leaves like a coating on there, and you know, kind of made it kind of shiny. But it's up to you. I mean, you could just burnish this whole thing out, blending it out, or you know, maybe you like the really excessive grit. And you know, that it made your piece more vintagey. I thought about keeping it really gritty like this, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I was tossed, and you'll see. Like I said, I can't tell you enough. You'll see in the Patreon real-time tutorial. Like I said, it'll be there in a couple days, within a couple days tops, and you'll see what I'm talking about, because I had this all colored in and it was very, very gritty, and I thought, yeah, maybe some of you wouldn't like it, and I wanted to make sure that it was something that you could really learn from, so I got away from the grit. So I have to say, it kind of looked like it was kind of uncolored almost, or really rough, but it had an amazing effect. So how many of you, come on, don't be scared, how many of you are having a lot of fun with this? Going over the brick. Up here by the skeleton hands. Don't get the skeleton hands. I didn't add any color up through there, but I had enough of the residue on my brush. Instant bricks. Instant bricks. Now on the curtain, what I want to go ahead and do is, now that we've already blended this out, watch this. I've already burnished it out. Look how it makes it more satiny. And it really makes that red just go, wow. This little area on the floor there. Okay, we're going to finish up the curtain and we're done. And he's looking really good. I'm going to go ahead and touch this up here. It is a material. Just want to smooth this out and running a really, really light coat. Now, if you're using the odorless mineral spirits, I found that Gamsol Zest It is another one for those of you over in the UK. I know some people in the States order it in. Zest It is really, really good. Kind of has a citrus aroma almost. The odorless mineral spirits, like if you were to buy it like from Walmart or something, wow, it has kind of an aroma. So make sure your windows are open. We have cracked the windows open here just to make sure it's in a well-ventilated area, especially with pets. I'm not going to blend this out. I want that texture in there. So let me go ahead and put the lid back on here. We're going to zip through the curtains and this tutorial will be done. Do any of you have any questions while I zip the color out of these? Giving my hand a nice... Now I gotta find my pencils again. And we have burgundy. We have blood red. Oh yeah. Deep red. And there's our colors. Any questions?
Glenda Pooley says, looks absolutely amazing, Heather. Thank you so much for your time and the chance to learn from you direct.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. Yeah, I know. I keep telling everybody, you know, how easy this is and that, and you're like, oh, she does this all the time. It's really easy. No, I mean, Carnival Barker tried it, and it's really easy. Didn't you?
I did. You're a good teacher, and you're easy to follow.
Thanks. And he's not getting paid to say that.
Wait, you said I'd get paid.
No, not.
Oh.
The Midnight Carnival will pay you. Okay, lay that in. Never get scared. A lot of people get scared by pleats and the material. Don't get scared by something. When you put it out there that, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this. Guess what? You're already putting it out there that you can't. You can. You look at it, like I said, take your mind out of it and don't sit there and dwell that it's fabric, I can't do it. No. It's a piece of paper, it's a colored pencil, and we're making our valleys and our peaks. That's all we're doing. It's kind of a mind over matter thing, just like when you saw me draw a straight line. Okay? It's a mind over matter thing. You just go for it. Don't be afraid. Adding the burgundy. I think we would have made it with the under 2 hours if it wasn't for a little couple camera glitches. I think. It's close. We're having fun. And you can see I always have like 2 or 3 pencils in my hand. Once I find them. Okay. I have Yamasol paper. Casper. A little bit of Casper down through here. Just light, light, light. My sunburst yellow. Missed a spot. And my toadstool. Missed a spot. Oh, that was rust. Yeah, it wouldn't be the same if I didn't lose my pencils. Well, those of you who are here, who are on my Patreon, you know I lose my pencils. Find them, but I lose my pencils. And don't be shy. If you're not already, if you're on my Patreon, you can feel free to share your coloring with me. If you get stuck on my Patreon, remember I'm at your disposal. You know, shoot me a message. Send me, hey, Heather, I need help with this. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm there for. You know what I mean. Okay. And I'm going to take just going to run the burgundy up here. Tilt the camera a little bit up. Get that in the creases. And I followed the pleats, if you notice something, up at an angle. So they're like up like this. So they got that peak going. I'm helping them out. All it is, coloring, is basically manipulating color. Once you have the light source down, you're really manipulating, it's like an optical illusion. The more you can create that texture and that vibe, like, by highlighting up here, we know that this is, that's where the light and stuff is coming down on. It's all about creating that effect. And I mean, this isn't hyper realism. This isn't, realism. This is fantasy art. This is, It doesn't need to be. I say, if you don't like the color I'm using, change it. But learn the technique underneath. I'm going to come in with my blood red. Oh, deep red. That'll work. My hand is getting tired. My MS has cooperated. Yay! So how many are you excited about the Voodoo Priest and the Voodoo Priestess we will be coloring next weekend? It's going to be great. I mean, if you have ideas that you want to see, shoot me a message. You can get me on Facebook, Patreon. Leave a comment below. Everybody has gone so quiet. Do you want to go over the rules again for the contest?
One more time.
Yep.
After this video goes live, or I should say, gets archived into YouTube, you need to make a comment underneath
And like,
and subscribe to this page,
tell me a little bit about yourself.
and we will do a drawing. The deadline closes September 3rd. Lady Heather will pick her winner and contact that winner privately to get their address.
Yes. No personal information in the YouTube comments. It's for your own safety. In this day and age, yeah. Save that for off screen. Just laying in some texture. Oh yeah, Lady Heather's hand is taking its toll here. I may not be able to finish this last curtain. I'm working on it, doing some finger stretches here.
Well, it's been marathon coloring, Lady Heather. You're at 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Hey, but it's been fun. I know my fans understand, so. I wish we'd get that voodoo priest on the line.
I'm telling you, he shows up, I'm out of here.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, I did see something lurking back by your carriage outside.
Oh, true.
I am come to see you, Lady Heather. That's it. I'm out of here. I'm done.
And that is our voodoo priest coming into the building. Personal friend of mine. Yeah. It's going to be really fun, so stay tuned.
You just think I'm your friend.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Gamasol. I may not be able to finish this curtain. But I think you all get the general gist of this. Hold on, I need my paper up underneath.
I think we've run into that other technical difficulty. Fatigue.
Yeah. My apologies, but you get the general gist of how to do this.
I think it's amazing you've taken that from line art to this in under 3 hours. That's well done.
Thanks. Yeah.
Leo's been quiet.
Yes, no. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe next time he'll chime in with the voodoo doctor. Okay, running the Gamasol on the curtain. And my apologies for not being able to finish that curtain. So what I'll probably do is, if it's all right with you, I'll do a short live stream this week, or we'll finish it next week, the little curtain, and go on. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you want to do. But yeah, I'm going to have to take longer than a couple-minute break.
Lady Heather, I think your fans get the gist.
Yeah. All right, and we have a nice, stunning curtain. Let me go ahead and back that out. Whoop. Nice spotlight, nice curtain. And it's easy. So, My apologies again. Nothing I can do about that. I gave it my all. I'll do that. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do a quick video and post it up tomorrow just to finish off that curtain to the live stream. My apologies. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us.
And thank you all for taking part. And the show is over.
Yes. Stay tuned next week, Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will see trailers, exciting trailers and promos for this. Thank you. This concludes the week 1 of my Lady Heather-o-ween. And see you next week. Stay tuned to my Facebook, Instagram, of course on Patreon, and am I missing one? I might even pop in on Twitch throughout the week. Got a whole bunch of special prizes for you throughout the next 8 weeks. Thank you for joining me. Have a fantastically spooky evening. Until next time, bye.